Welcome, friends, to our seance table. I am Madame Leota, your hostess and gateway into the realm of the supernatural. Our guests come from far and wide to make contact with the spirit world. I understand that each of you are in possession of an object which contains a spirit of the dead. Our task is to make contact and release these long tormented souls with the hope that they may finally rest in peace. Serpents and spiders, tail of a rat, call in the spirits wherever they're at. Rap on a table, it's time to respond. Send us a message from somewhere beyond. Goblins and ghoulies from last Halloween, awaken the spirits with your tambourine. Creepies and crawlies, toads in a pond, let there be music from regions beyond. Witches and wizards, wherever you dwell, give us a hint by ringing a bell. The spirits have received our sympathetic vibrations and are beginning to materialize. Come, let us set about our work. The spirits do not like to be kept waiting.
Madame Leota, we have Miss Dalia Craven, who seeks to use your gift to reach out to her late husband William, who was killed in a tragic accident.
Good evening, Miss Leota. As it's been said, I recently lost my dear husband William in a tragic hunting accident. May his soul rest in peace. I am stricken with grief and desperate to connect with his spirit so that we may both find peace. I brought the memento as you requested. This is my wedding ring, the symbol of everything that bound me to him in life.
We summon the spirit of William Craven. Come forth from the moldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bonds to the material world.
Wicked woman. You have some nerve calling me here after what you've done.
I'll thank you to mind your manners, you wretched old pig. You got exactly what you deserved.
I deserve to be riddled with shotgun pellets.
You deserved far worse. Though I did enjoy the poetic justice of knowing that you died at your own stupidity.
Is that what you're telling people?
Why not, William, darling? It's the truth. You died as a direct result of being an imbecile and a bastard. I honestly can't think of a more direct relationship between cause and effect.
I died by the hand of a jealous wife.
You mark my words, William Craven. You may be dead, but there is still a world of hurt I can inflict on you. I mean, how do you think your Georgetown buddies would feel hearing that good old William Craven was having his way with the maid?
You wouldn't.
Oh, William, but I would. It's bad enough you were a philandering weasel. You preyed on that poor, innocent girl, as if she could refuse the man she worked for. Drop your drawers or beg for bread on the street. She didn't love you. She didn't want you. She was terrified of you. You did this to yourself, William. You're the villain in your own story, William. The only satisfaction I have in all of this is to be able to write her a substantial check from the estate of her abuser.
What is it you want from me, then?
I don't want anything from you, William, except your eternal silence. Not just about the day you died, no. I want you banished from this world. I want your memory stricken from record. So help me, William. It will be my life's work to erase your narrative. The lawyers are coming from Boston. They're going to be in work on removing your name from every place it exists. I will go back to being Dalia Longmore. The children will be Longmores. The business, the foundation, all of it. This empire, William, is under new management. Your name will cease and be no more. No more than a footnote in what I will build. So why don't you just find your way to the fires, Bill? No one will miss you. I'm afraid you're dead, Bill, and I'm at the helm of the largest newspaper company on the planet. It would seem I've already succeeded. Oh, I almost forgot. I had them remove your obituary from Thursday's edition. Something about it being too devastating to print. Oh, I'm afraid you're being cast into obscurity, even now.
I'll have my good name restored. Just you watch, Dalia. You won't succeed.
Famous last words.
The world will never forget William J. Craven.
You can keep the ring.
Oh my. It seems we have a bit of intrigue. Who is next, please?
Miss Hadley, please come forward and be seated.
Thank you, Your Grace. I mean, Your Excellency, that is to say, Your Eminence.
Come to the point, dearie.
Of course, yes, 1,000 apologies. You see, I'm here to present this sextant, which is said to have belonged to a distant relative, Admiral Cavendish. He was lost at sea on an Atlantic crossing many years ago. The story goes that they encountered pirates while escorting a trading ship. There was a mighty battle, but in the end the ship was lost, and Cavendish and his crew were taken by the sea. Some years later, a British officer saw the piece for sale at a market in the Windward Isles. By some great luck, they recognised it as belonging to a British admiral and confiscated it. Eventually, the item made its way back to my family in Portsmouth. That was 2 generations ago, and ever since the sextant's return, my family has been stricken by a series of unexplained tragedies. First was my great aunt Mildred. She took ill the very day this damn thing was returned. She died within months. Mildred's side of the family had been loathed by that of the admiral. We often wonder if his spirit was seeking to punish them by taking Mildred. Her brother, my grandfather, was next to go. He was thrown from his horse while riding to Southampton. The farmer found the riderless horse and went looking for my grandfather, but it was much too late. And then last year my mother was found dead in the garden. No one knows what happened. She'd not been sick, and there was no sign of injury. It must be the ghost. Please, madam, release this tormented spirit so that my family can be safe again.
We summon the spirit of the great Admiral Cavendish. Come forth from the mouldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bounds to the material world. My dear child, how is it that you accuse me of such horrors? I did indeed bring death to others during my life, but only to those who opposed the crown. It was my sworn duty to God and my country. I could never be the instrument of death against my own descendants. I am deeply sorry for the losses you've experienced. But I assure you, I had no part in any of these events. You seem to be a believer in post hoc, ergo propter hoc. The deaths happened after the sextant was returned to you. Therefore, they happened because of it. Nothing could be further from the truth. My soul remains tormented by the unavenged deaths of my men. I seek only the peace that comes from knowing those devilish marauders were taken by the tide. Tell me, do you know what became of those who sank my ship?
I am deeply sorry, my many times great-grandfather.
Those stories have been lost to time, as have the pirates who ambushed your vessel, their descendants, and, in a large part, piracy itself.
Piracy itself lost to time? God save the Queen. Perhaps this brings meaning to these many years, trapped between the living and the dead, that I might hear tell of such unbelievable tidings. Tell me, child, what is your name?
Hadley, sir. Josephine Hadley.
My dear Miss Hadley, I am greatly honored to have made your acquaintance. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall now board for my last voyage, bound across that great, calm sea into the unknown forever. Keep my trusted heirloom as a reminder of those long past. And when you look to the sea, know that I still sail on that great ocean of eternity.
I shall, Admiral. I shall indeed, and thank you, for the souls of those living shall be given peace as well. Journey on, good man, journey on.
You have done well, my dear. Admiral Cavendish is free to take respite after his long voyage. Let us turn now to our next guest. Who comes to my table for audience now?
We now welcome Mr. Eugene Thompson.
Mr. Thompson, of course. So glad you could join us.
Thank you, Madame Leota. As per my letter, I have come to contact Cooper. I'm very hopeful that we can manage that.
We shall certainly try. I admit I am rather intrigued myself. If this works, it will open an entirely new opportunity for my guests. Let's begin. Please, place your item on the table. We summon the spirit of Cooper. Come forth from the moldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bonds to the material world. Mr. Thompson, I am pleased to tell you that I have Cooper with me. He's very... Yes, all right. He's very excited to see you. Yes, but can we just...
Cooper, sit.
Cooper would like you to know he's very happy. He's got a broad smile, and his tongue is hanging out.
Oh, he's such a good boy.
He is wagging his tail.
He's my super duper Cooper doggy. He's the sweetest boy. Oh, Cooper, I miss you so much.
He's leaning against me. He's quite a powerful dog, isn't he? He says he'd like for you to throw a ball for him. It seems that here you can conjure something like that with your mind. Are you able to conjure a ball for him, Mr. Thompson?
Of course.
Oh yes, that's worked. Perhaps a bit too well, even. Several balls went flying about, but he honed in on the first one and is chasing it down. Oh, he's gotten it now and is heading back this way. Yes, thank you. Very well done. He's brought the ball back and is staring intently while shuffling his paws. I suspect he might like to go again. Would you care to throw it again?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my, that one's gone quite a distance. It's gone over a hill from where I am, but he is in pursuit. Yes, he's come up with it. It's impressive to see a dog of such sausage-like proportions move so quickly. He's quite strong. All right. He's dropped the ball beside me now and has rolled on to his back.
Do you suppose I can conjure a belly rub?
There is but one way to find out.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Oh yes, that's definitely having an effect. He's rolling about. Yes. Oh, he quite enjoys that. He's rolled onto his side now and is pressing his back against me.
Oh, my sweet Cooper. What a good boy. He came to us several years ago on my birthday. Sort of a surprise gift. He'd clearly belonged to someone. He was quite friendly and understood how to sit and such. We looked for his family for quite some time. Hung signs, took out an advertisement in the newspaper, asked everyone in the neighbourhood, but his owners never turned up. All the while we kept him safe and fed. Perhaps we did a bit too good a job of that. Much to my delight, he seemed to take to me in particular. I was quite ill at the time, and he remained at my side every day. Even once I was back on my feet, he continued to sleep beside me every night. We had some good years together. Then, of course, as all things do, our time together came to an end. He did so much for us. For me, especially. It sounds silly to think of a dog in these terms, but he really taught me the importance of friendship. We spend so much time and effort thinking about romantic relationships and family, and surely those things are indeed very important, but to have a friendship that you really invest in can sustain you in ways I never knew. My friendship with Cooper did so much to keep me steady when I was struggling. The hardships never felt so bad, because I always knew that I could go home and Cooper would be there, waiting.
Pets are treasured companions. It seems you are both lucky to have found one another.
I hope that's true. I know I was lucky. I hope he was too.
He barked.
Oh, thank you, Cooper. Thank you for everything. You brought us such joy. Goodbye, old friend.
He barked again, and then ran off.
Good boy, Cooper. Good boy.
He is indeed. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. It's helpful to know that we are able to bring our pets to our gatherings. I'm sure a great many of our guests will take solace in the chance to say goodbye to such important companions.
Thank you, Madame Leota.
You are most welcome, sir. Whom shall we have next, then?
Madame Leota, Mrs. Jameson comes to your table for guidance.
Madame Leota, thank you for your time. My name is Mary Jameson, and I have brought with me today this doll. I've had it for most of my life. I'm not really sure why I've kept it, actually. It doesn't have any sort of practical use to me, and any sentimental attachment I have to it just brings back bad memories. Anyway, I have no reason to believe that this doll is possessed by any sort of spirit, but my son insists that he can hear voices from it. He's persisted in this talk for quite some time. You know, if anything, I suppose I'm here to be able to tell him that an expert in the field has said that there's nothing wrong with the doll, that it's all in his imagination. He is given to fantastical tales, things like that, you know, young boys. But something seems different about this story. He is just a little boy coming up with a ghost in a doll with all of the details and everything. It seems a bit beyond his age. Goodness, maybe we should have him looked at. Well, anyway, all of that said, if you could please have a look, I would be very grateful.
Children are quite perceptive. They can often see and hear things adults cannot. As we grow, we learn to ignore things that seem unlikely. We forget to open ourselves to possibility. Let us determine once and for all whether his stories are true. Place your item on the table. We summon the spirit entrapped in porcelain. Come forth from the moldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bonds to the material world. Come, Spirit, make your presence known. Mary desires to speak with you. I'm not sure if anyone wants to come through, my dear.
Mary Winterborn.
I'm here, Lily. I'm here. It's Mary. Mary Jameson now.
You married Edward.
I did. I married Edward, and we have 2 beautiful children, and another on the way.
Oh, heavens. Please tell me they aren't tricksters like their father.
The younger one is. He startled me with a frog in the garden just the other day. He is the very picture of Edward.
Oh, my gracious. How did that silly boy Edward ever court you?
That silly boy has become quite the striking man.
Well, I'm sure you had your choice of all the suitors in the county.
I'm nothing special.
Nothing special? That's not the Mary I remember, even as a girl. everyone wanted to know you and what you would be up to next. You had such big ideas. And you were beautiful. Goodness, I wanted to be you so badly.
Well, I was never as beautiful as you were.
You were, though, Mary. You never could see it. But you were, and are.
Well, even if that were true, I'm not much to look at now.
You bite your tongue, Mary Winterbourne. Jameson. Jameson. Who would have thought? What do you tell the husband who sees a beautiful wife? Or the children who see their beautiful mother? Do you say they're mistaken? Do you laugh and dismiss them? And what of me? What of the girl who would have given anything to be like you? Mary, you weren't just my friend, you were who I aspired to be. And even if I had lived to try, I could never have been you. You're magical. You have something inside you that the rest of us just haven't got.
Lily, you didn't get to grow up because of me.
Mary, that isn't true. You know that.
I watched you fall, Lily. I watched you. I was right there and I couldn't help you. And it's all my fault. You should have been the one to grow up. There were so many things that you didn't get to do. And it was because of me. I failed you. I tried to save you and I just couldn't. And it's all my fault.
Mary, my sweet Mary. Mary, there was nothing that you could have done.
I could have held on tighter. I could have saved you. I could have saved you if I had just tried harder. I should have tried harder. And now you're gone and I miss you terribly and it's all my fault.
Sweet Mary, you poor dear heart. I don't want this for you. It was an accident. It was just an accident. I'm so sorry I left you. I wanted so much for us to grow old together. I wanted to be there, to see you shine. We could have stayed the best of friends, I just know it. I could have seen you marry that silly boy, turned dashing man. I could have watched you raise your beautiful children, and I'm just so sorry that I couldn't stay. I tried to hold on, even once I'd fallen, I tried to stay with you, Mary. I tried to stay with my friend. Mary, won't you forgive me for leaving you like that? Please forgive me for what you went through, for what you had to see, and for what you must have felt.
My dear Lily, it wasn't your fault. You must know that. We were so young. We didn't know to be afraid. We were just little girls. We thought we were invincible.
Well, if it wasn't my fault, surely it wasn't yours. If you can look at me with sympathy, don't you deserve the same?
I see what you're saying. It's been so hard without you. And I can't even think about you because it's far too painful. I feel so guilty because my children have never even heard of my best friend. You're locked away inside of me, and I dare not bring you out because the pain, Lily, the pain of losing you, I don't know how to bear it. Even all these years later, I still need you. I don't know how to do this.
And sometimes I just need my best friend. And you're not there. You're not there.
I'm here now, Mary. I'm here now. I know it's not the same. And I know it will never be the same. I never knew a day in my life that I didn't have you by my side. And to have left you without that. I'm just so sorry, my Mary. Will you forgive me for leaving you?
My Lily, there is nothing to forgive.
Will you say it, though? Will you say that you forgive me?
Of course I do. Of course I forgive you. Will you forgive me?
Mary, I've never faulted you for any of this. The thought never crossed my mind. Not once. But, if it will help, yes, I forgive you.
I want to remember you without thinking of that day.
Then think about all the days before it. Think about the day we put wildflowers in our hair and got chased by bees.
Or when we served tea to Lady Hobblestocks.
Oh my heavens! Lady Hobblestocks. Was she a rabbit?
A gopher.
That's right, I remember now. She used to burrow under the fence from Miss Tilly's yard.
And eat Mrs. Tilly's radishes. Oh, she got so cross.
She thought we were eating them.
This is all so lovely, and I want it to last. But it can't, can it? It's a stolen season.
My dear Mary, I wish more than anything in this world and the next that I could stay with you forever. But my soul grows tired, weary, in a way I can't explain. I need to rest. I have to ask you to let me go.
What a horrible thing to ask, after I just got you back. But as much as it hurts, I do understand. I want you to have peace. Of course I want that. But I will miss you.
I will miss you too. You're such a part of everything about me. That's why I couldn't leave you with all that guilt. I never wanted that for you. I couldn't abide the idea that you were carrying all that pain.
You stayed between worlds all this time, just to help me with my guilt.
Of course I did. I love you, Mary. Being your friend was the greatest joy of my life. I couldn't leave you like that.
Why didn't you try to talk to me sooner?
I did, but you weren't ready to hear me. And that's okay.
So you just spent 16 years biding your time in whatever place you're in?
Time works differently here. Almost the way memory does. We're aware of the important moments.
Still, what a gift you've given me. I love you so much.
And I love you. What do you think? Are you ready?
Oh, my Lily. I'll never be ready. But I know you need to rest. I'll keep you in my heart, always.
You always have. Keep Annabelle with you. I'm so glad you still have her. I wasn't sure if Mother would part with any of my old things, but I'm so glad she did. Remember our summers of adventure. Remember stomping about in puddles. And remember that we had this rare chance to say goodbye.
I love you, my Lily.
I love you too, my Mary. Always. Are you all right?
I will be. In time. I suppose it's time to tell the children about Lily. You know, I've kept her stories from them for so long. I'm not even sure where to begin.
It will come, as you said, in time.
Thank you, Madame Leota. Thank you ever so much.
Of course, dear. Now, whom shall we have next?
I am honored to present the Baroness Marie Leroux.
Baroness, it is a pleasure to have you at our table. Are you comfortable?
Oui, I am, as you say, comfortable. Well, certainly more comfortable than wearing a fishbowl now.
I suppose that's true. What is it that brings you here this evening?
I have brought the favorite sculpting tool of the master sculptor Jean-Antoine Houdon. I wish to speak with the artist to establish the provenance and authenticity of the item. You see, I brought it to a collector, and that brawler has the audacity to tell me it is not real. How can anyone question it's real? This is authentic spatula used by the sculptor himself.
Well, we shall see soon enough. Place the item on the table, s'il vous plaît. We summon the spirit of Jean-Antoine Houdon. Come forth from the mouldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bonds to the material world. Begging your pardon, ma'am, but I don't think I'm the one you're looking for. My name's John Houston.
Who is this? This isn't the sculptor. This is a new trash. Go back at once and find Houdon. I will not stand for this. You have insulted my family.
I really am sorry, but I'm the only one here. See, found my daddy's clay thingy, though. Used to use that to scrape mud off my boots. Where'd you find it?
I will have you know this is absolutely authentic. You can see here by the inscription G-A-H. G-A-H.
Yes, ma'am. That's John Alexander Houston. I'm the second of the name, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you. But I have to ask, what am I doing here?
You are an imposter. I demand to know what you have done with Houdon. How did you get inside his spatula?
With all due respect,
I really don't know what you're talking about. You see, that was my daddy's clay thingy. And I took it with me for good luck during the War of Northern Aggression. Came in handy for the boots, even for the teeth from time to time. One day, we got ourselves surrounded by Yankees, and I must have dropped that when we tried to escape. I don't mean any disrespect to you, or your family, or your artist friend. I'm sure he was a very nice fella, but this definitely isn't his. Where'd you find it?
It was gifted to my family 30 years ago from a descendant of Benjamin Franklin. Houdon and Franklin were friends. It was Franklin who arranged it for the sculpture of your George Washington.
Ma'am, 30 years ago would have been a very good time to go looting in old battlefields. Maybe this came into your possession as a gift, but it never belonged to your sculptor, or anyone related to Benjamin Franklin, as far as I know.
If this did not belong to Houdon, then it is worthless. And if it is worthless, how will I pay off the debts against the ghosts? I mean, the chateau. How will I keep the chateau?
I'm awfully sorry, ma'am. If it helps, you could probably get 25 cents for that in town.
25. 25. 25 cents. I do not wish to speak with you anymore. Someone has played a cruel trick. I will not stand for this. C'est des conneries. Des conneries.
Mr. Houston, whatever twist of fate left you bound to that tool was clearly a mistake. Be free now. Leave this realm and find yourself at rest. Well, now that we have had our bit of excitement for the evening, perhaps we should move on. Who's next, please?
Madam, we have Mr. Harry Granger.
Very well. Good evening, Mr. Granger.
Good evening, Madame Leota. May I just say it is indeed an honor to make your acquaintance. My cousin Nicholas cannot stop raving about a session he had with you several months ago. So I'm very excited to be here tonight. I'm hopeful that you can connect me to my first love, Susan. She was taken from us too soon, and I would be very happy to have a chance to share with her just how much she meant to me and all of those who knew her. I've brought her diary with me, and I hope that it'll help you make contact with her.
Well, I shall try to live up to your expectations. We call upon the spirit of Susan. Come forth from the moldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bonds to the material world. Hello,
my darlingest boy.
Hello, my darlingest girl. Oh, my dear Susan. I have missed you.
You always were the sentimental type.
I suppose that's true, Susan. I feel as if I've spent the last 7 years thinking of what I would say to you, given the chance. And now I have it. I have no words.
I completely understand. There's so much to say, it's overwhelming. Perhaps you could start by telling me about your last 7 years.
Well, I suppose the biggest news is that I recently married.
Oh, Henry, that's wonderful.
It is. That is to say, I think it is. But I'm worried that I have hurt you. I've been worried about that.
What were you supposed to do? Lock that beautiful heart away forever? Wear black every day and die alone? Henry, you're alive. If you want to honor me by making all of your dreams come true. Breathe in every bit of it, and know that I support you with all my heart.
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Love isn't a prison, Henry. And mourning a lost love shouldn't be either. I'm surprised at you. Is that what you thought I'd want?
No, certainly not. It was never that I thought you wanted me to be alone. I suppose it took me time to risk my heart again. I did so love you. I do still. I love what we had. And I cherish those memories. It took me a long time to get past losing you. Not only losing you, but I suppose losing our future. Having to mourn the hopes of days that would never come to pass. When I was with you, I knew what my life was going to be like. I knew that the house on the hills, you sat at the piano, and all those sunsets, whose sunrise felt so certain. And suddenly, I had to learn that the sunrise wasn't as sure as I believed them to be.
My darlingest boy, your poor heart has suffered so. I'm very glad that you finally learned to love again. It's a courageous thing to give our whole hearts to love. And with all you've suffered, you know too well that hearts can be broken. The love you have for your new bride must be incredibly powerful. What's your name?
Hannah.
Oh, that's lovely. What's she like?
Well, she puts up with me, so clearly she's a saint. She's a person of deep compassion. She wants to help everyone and connect with everything. She can look at a tree and see it in a way I've never seen anyone see it. She can hear the tree's story. I used to look at trees and think perhaps they were particularly appealing in one way or another at most. But I'm starting to see the world through her eyes. The sea isn't just the sea anymore. It's spiritual. Forests are cathedrals. Glens are the infinite universe, and the sky is time, all it ever has been and all it ever will be.
You've become a poet.
Not at all. Not by comparison, at least. Anna has made me anew. She's written her poetry into the fabric of my being. And it's not just how she sees nature. She sees everything like that. Children seem to approach her when we're in town. It's as though they can sense it in her. They feel something inviting about her. I can't explain it. But she sees me that way too. She sees my heart. She sees my cares and my worries, and she sees not only a man, but the man I aim to be.
Henry, I'm so happy for you. You deserve every happiness, and it sounds like you found someone amazing to spend your life with.
I have indeed. Thank you, Susan. Your blessing means the world to me. It really does.
To love someone is to want their heart to be full. That's how I always loved you. How I will always love you.
And I shall always love you, my darlingest. So much of me was made in my time with you. I'm sorry it was so short. Tragically short. But I will continue to do all I can to honor you by being the kind of man I knew you'd want me to be.
That's all I could ever ask. Be well, dear Henry. Thrive. Love. Be loved. I'm honored to have had the chance to love you.
And I you, Susan. Thank you. Really. Thank you for this. I guess this is goodbye then.
I guess it is.
Shall we do as we used to and prolong our goodbyes so we don't have to leave?
Those were wonderful goodbyes. But this time, I have something wonderful to send you off to. That fills my heart with joy.
Goodbye, Susan. Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye, Henry. That was wonderful, Mr. Granger. I'm so glad Susan was able to give you that.
As am I, Madame Leota. What a beautiful gift you have given me. I am forever grateful. Thank you.
We use the gifts we have to help others. That is our calling, after all. Who has yet to make contact?
We close out the evening with Miss Ophelia Larson. Here you are, my lady.
Greetings to you, my dear Madame Leota. I bring the sword of my father, Magnus Larson, the very sword on which I have sworn an oath to avenge his most unnatural murder. And yet, I don't know if it's truly the ghost of my father whom I have spoken to. He appeared to me, just as he did in life, a man of stature, a man of greatness. He told me that an old college friend, Dame Christensen, had been having an affair with my mother. I couldn't believe it. And yet, the very day I buried my father, that damned Dane began spending more time around the house. I saw him grow ever closer to my mother. Had they been involved all along, as the ghost had said? And what am I to think? That my mother was too frail and stupid to resist his advances? Did she know? Did she help? I am fortune's fool. Is it nobler to just let it go and let my mother have her happiness? As misguided and disgusting as that might be. Or am I duty bound to take action against this sea of troubles, to confront the man who become my stepfather? And that's the trouble. This man, this wretched man, has asked my mother's hand in marriage. My father was not yet cold in his grave when that villain proposed. Maybe they saved money by serving the leftover funeral hors d'oeuvres at the engagement party.
These are troubling notions, dear. Let us first determine if it was, in fact, your father's ghost who came to you.
Of course, I have to know. Maybe this is just all a terrible nightmare. Maybe my father simply died in his sleep in the backyard. But what if it's really him? If only my flesh would melt, and I could be free of this impossible life. Or even if I must remain, why? Why is it me who has to be reckoning against the man who will marry my mother?
Perhaps your father will have more answers. We summon your spirit, much perturbed ghost. Come forth from the moldering sanctum. Be present with us in this place. Come that your soul may be freed from its bonds to the material world.
Ophelia, come close and mark my every word. I have much to tell you. What I have to say will chill the very blood in your veins. That day on which I died, do you remember it?
Yes, of course, Father. I remember it clearly.
Then you remember that serpent Dane joined us for lunch just before my afternoon nap.
Yes, I remember that.
When bringing me my food and drink, and out of view from watchful eyes, the villain slipped a bit of poison into my food and drink, ensuring that meal would be my last. That adultering beast cut me down in my prime. I did not have the chance to see my life's work done, to see my family taken care of. I had much yet to do, yet that lustful man took my life from me so he could be victorious in his filthy conquest of my bride.
That vile, lecherous man. I know what I must do. I shall go to my task swiftly. These deeds will not go unanswered.
Ophelia, you must be sure that it is only he who pays for his wretched acts. Your mother is not to blame. It is a cunning monster who took my place in your mother's bed. If she is guilty of anything, that is for heaven to decide. But you must avenge my death by his hand while he lives.
I swore by your sword before, and I will swear by it again. You will be justly served. The worm shall feast on his unclean body until it is cleansed to the bone. Let that vile Dane do as he may. It is Ophelia who will win out the day.
Dear Ophelia, this burden is too much to bear. I know you're equal to the task, but I hate to ask it. And yet, if you ever loved your father, it must be done.
I know what I must do, but my conscience makes a coward of me. Am I to be made an instrument of death? Is it for me to rid this mortal coil of the foul creature who killed my father? Surely I must. He killed my father. He killed my father so he could marry my mother. And what about her? How am I ever going to look her in the eye again? My wish for death overwhelms my spirit. Surely it is easier to die than it is to kill. After all, my life belongs to me, and if I die, this terrible responsibility will no longer be mine. But I love my father. I have to find a way to set his soul at peace. How can I condemn him to wander the earth for all time? How can I ask of him the torture he has asked of me? Why me, Father? Why must it be me? There is only one course. I have to set aside all these questions and get to my task. The only question is, how? What do I know of killing? I live a life of comfort. I haven't had to kill anything, much less anyone. Yet, all I need to do is picture him. Picture him and let the rage boil inside of me. Vengeance will be mine.
My friends, that brings our evening to a close. It has been my pleasure helping each of you to reach out into the beyond. I hope that you have found what you were looking for in the experience. I must rest now. Communing with the spirits can be quite exhausting work. Will you show our remaining guests out, please?
Of course, madam.
If any of you should wish to experience another session, you may make final arrangements with our scheduler. We're always dying to have guests at our table. Good night.